What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy, SumnSumnSumn. Hit the keys. Here today to bring you guys a quick review and demonstration over Chord Jam by AudioModern. It's basically a chord generator plugin similar to a scaler or a Captain Chords, but it's got some really dope features I think you guys might want to check out. Make sure if you guys like this content, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to find out. But let's go ahead and get right into Chord Jam. Sum, hit the key. All right, guys, so when you open up the plugin, it's gonna look like this. It is vectoral, so you can make it as big or as small as you want to, which is always a dope feature. We love that, plugin creators. So with this plugin, you're basically gonna open this up just like it's a sound plugin. So you're gonna grab it from over here. And then what you're going to do in order to make this work is you're gonna have to come over here and you're gonna have to put the output port to 1. And then on whatever VST that you're using to get the sound from, you're gonna have to come over to the cog and you're gonna have to put this input 1 so that the output of the actual Chord Jam is coming into that VST plugin. And that's how you're gonna go ahead and make that work. Otherwise, you're not gonna get any sound and you're going to be very, very upset. So with this plugin, when you look at it, it's pretty dope. It's got your chords right here, so you can pick whichever one you want. So boom, you can push that and it'll put it right on E. You can take out all these other notes too if you want to. So in order to take other things out, all you gotta do is click on them like this, and you can take everything out and leave just only everything that's gonna be in that E scale or key. You can mess with the scale type right here. You can, it's got a whole bunch of different scale types, everything from harmonic minor to 8-tone Spanish. I mean, it's got all kinds of different scale types for you. You can also hit this button right here next to it, and this button right here will randomize it. So it'll randomize the scale for you, and everywhere you see that this button right here, it will randomize for you. That's what that button basically is randomize. As you look here, right here, this is also a randomized button too. And this randomized button right here randomizes everything on the screen. So if you tap this button, it's going to randomize everything. I don't want to tap it yet just because I want to kind of go through some of the stuff and show you. You have a little octave button right here, so you can control the octave, and then you can also control the chord type. So not only can you control the scale type, but you can control the chord type too. And it's got all kinds of different chords over here. So I'm just going to start off by pushing a button. So what's dope is this thing creates scales by just pushing one button. So you see I have my my MPK right here. If I push one button, so you see how it will play the whole chord for me by just pushing one button. That's going to be the theme of this whole thing. I'm not going to hold up the MPK for the whole thing as I hit the buttons, but you get the point. One button makes the chord. So what's cool about this, my favorite thing about this whole thing is right here, you can see that you can put, if you push this button right here, this is basically infinity. And when you push infinity, it randomizes every time that you push a button. So like right here, this right here is going to control the strum of the actual, of the playing of the notes. So it's going to offset all the notes in the scale and in the chord. So you see how that offsets it? If you push this infinity button, every time that you push the button down, it offsets that for you, which is pretty cool. So you can make this as big or as long as you want. So you can make it shorter offset. So that's pretty dope too. We're going to go ahead and just put this into a minor scale for these. So I like it to be a little bigger, obviously. I like, so, it's going to have a, just more of a lo-fi type feel. So that's pretty dope. And then another thing that's cool too is, so you can mess with these voices over here. So with the voices, there's 5 different keys being hit, obviously with this key the scale that I'm using. So you can change one of the voices to higher and then one of the voices to an octave lower, and it's really going to stretch out the keys in that scale. So it's going to put some up an octave and it's going to put one down an octave. So it's going to sound like this. So that's pretty cool feature that it has. Another thing you can do is if you push these buttons right here, everywhere you see this highlighted button, it's basically a randomized button. So if I push this button, you see it basically randomizes the way that the voices are going to play. And so it's going to do the same over here. So I know we skipped this part. We're going to come right back here now. This is your velocities. So with your velocities, obviously, you understand it's going to change the velocity of how the keys hit. So like if we push the button, so that's pretty cool in itself. You can do a whole lot of, changing up the sound of your chords as you're playing them with just using this plugin so far. So I really do like that a lot. You can obviously change the octave right here, so you can go up an octave. Go up 2 octaves. I guess that's going down octaves, my apologies. So you can go up an octave though. You can go up 2 octaves, obviously. So, it makes it sound, just some variation. It's pretty cool there. Another thing that's cool about this plugin is if you push search right here. So if you push search, you can actually drop samples in here and it'll figure out what the chord progression is on that sample. So let's take a sample and drop it in here. We'll just grab a loop from here. We'll just grab this loop right here. So once you put it in here, it'll analyze what the sample, the notes are, and it'll give you basically what the possibilities are for that sample. So it's telling you that it's going to be one of these scales right here, which is pretty cool because that makes it easy for you to be able to figure out a chord progression that you can put together in order to make it work. Another thing you'll see here is that I have the BPM at 140 and it matches right here. So if I change the BPM, if I just scroll down, it automatically changes it for me. I don't have to do anything at all. So that's also cool as well. We'll go ahead and shut that though. We're not going to use that right now. All right, so the next thing that I want to look at is down here at the sequencer section. So this is basically how you're going to sequence your chords and how you're going to be able to get your chords so that you can drag them and drop them into the channel rack so that you can use them in your music. So when you're looking here at your steps, basically it's always going to start off with 32 steps. So what it's looking at for 32 steps is 2 bars. So as you can see, each bar has 16 steps in it. So just keep that in mind that you need to change your steps in order to make it 4 bars or in order to make it 8 bars, however many bars that you want it to be for the music that you are creating. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull up Chord Jam again. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this actually 64. So boom, we made it 64 and you see how this came longer. You're also going to want to make sure you stretch this all the way to the end, because if you don't stretch that to the end, it's just going to stop playing wherever it cuts off at, and it's just going to repeat that part over. Now, one thing that I do like about this plugin a lot is that when you're trying to put together, chords that you want to use and on your melody or whatever, chords that you want to build your beat around, like let's say I find a chord progression that I like all right, so we're going to turn this down just a little bit. All right, so basically what we're going to do is if whatever key you hit last, so if I hit this key right here, it's going to remember that. And so when I just push it down here and I expand it, it's going to remember the last key that I played. So if I push play, it remembers the last key I played. So then again, if I find the next key that I want to use in my chord progression, it's going to remember that. And so then all I have to do is put it here and then just expand it out. So, obviously you're going to go forward to get a bar. And so then the next key. And so as you may not be able to see the actual keys, the chord progression growing down here, don't worry, it is changing everything up for you. All right, so now if I push play on this, it's going to sound like this. So basically it puts the chord progression together for you. So then in order to take this chord progression and drop it into whatever VST you're using, all you have to do is copy or grab it and drag it there. Boom, it's there for you. And so then you can click on it and you can see that it's there for you. So one thing that you're going to have to remember is that if you are using this timepiece right here, which is in essence a strum tool, if everything is over to the right in the strumming, then when you actually get into the play or the piano roll, it's going to be off a little bit. So one thing that you might have to do is just move over the first set of keys so that everything is in time. So just keep that in mind. It's just a little tip just in case you weren't thinking about it or something like that. So then another thing that I want to show you that's pretty cool is that it's got this ARP function right here. So if you push this ARP function, all you have to do is basically hold down a key. And so you can change the way it is, whether it goes up and down. You can change the rate in which the ARP goes. So obviously you can make it go faster. You can make it go timed. And so you can also obviously make it go faster. You can mess with the up and down. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with that. You can mess with the swing. So, you know, you can mess with the swing down here on the ARP. And then obviously you can mess with the voices too, and that's going to change the way that the ARP sounds. So that's a cool feature as well. So then something else that they have too that's pretty nice is down here they have basically some chord progressions to start you off with. So they have pop, they have future, they have indie, electronica, they have a bunch of stuff. So we'll just start off with pop. So if we double click on pop, you see all these pink notes up here. It brings up a chord progression. And so one thing that's cool about this chord progression, like let's say I have these notes are all highlighted right here. I can click off this note, and whenever I click on something else, it'll automatically put it in there for me and change it up for me. But this is just what this basic chord progression sounds like. And so I can change that chord progression if I want. So like, let's say I want to cut this off here and I want to add a different note. Again, all I got to do is just push one key down and it'll remember the last key that I played. And so then boom, it's in there. So now, you know what I'm saying? Let's say we want to change this up and put a few different notes in there. So we want to put something else right here. So boom, we draw this in here. And now we have our own chord progression that we created from a start that they gave us. So again, we just grabbed some random notes to make it work. One thing that's cool about this too as well is you can come here and you can save all the presets. So like, let's say you make a preset or you make something that you put down here with all these notes. You can just come right here and you can save it as whatever you want. So save new preset as free one. Boom, it's saved for you. So now you have it saved and it's right here. It's in your preset. So you never forget it. So it'll pop up for you. So that's another cool feature. All right, so I cleared all those off. So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to come ahead and we're going to come back over here and we're just going to put up another chord, just some random chord progression. I'm only putting this up to show you guys something else that's cool too. So you got this arrow, and like, let's say this is your chord progression. What you can also do if you don't like the way it starts, but you like those chords, you can use this arrow and you can tap this button and you can just move the chords around to however you want them to sound. So you can keep moving them until you get a chord progression maybe that you like. And then, it just could be something different. You like all those chords, but you don't like the way that they're going together. You can just move them around. So that's something that's pretty cool with this as well. I'm also going to show you guys, so we're going to get rid of all of these. So we'll just boom, right click on all these to get rid of them. So right here, you have your pads. And so basically, if you click this button, you can assign whatever key to different pads on your MIDI. So remember the last key that you push is always, it's always going to remember that. And so then basically you can program these all to your MIDI controller, and it's different pads, and you can use them, you know, basically like a sample, or like, you know, if you're using your pads to play your sounds. So you can control that with the mouse, or you can control that with your pads. One more thing that I want to show you guys is if you hit this button right here, you can save your session. So like, let's say you just want to save how you have everything set up. So you want to save how you have everything set up from up here at the top, all the pads set up, all the keys set up down here. You can save your whole session as whatever it is that you want to save. So, you know, you can save it as pre-1. So we'll just push pre-1. Boom, you can push save. You can save just the sequencer. So, you know, like if we come back over here and we have something set up here on the sequencer, you can save just the sequencer like we did earlier, or you can save just the pads. So that's a pretty cool function as well. So I'm not gonna lie, I think this thing's pretty fire. I've had it probably for a couple weeks now. I want to send a shout out to the people over at AudioModern for sending it over me to check out and test it out. I'm a fan of this. Can't front, I've been messing with it for real about 2 weeks now. So it's currently $47 as the introductory price. So, you know, again, if you're looking for some kind of chord generator, or you're looking for something to help you spark some motivation, or even you can use this to learn chords. You know, if you don't know music theory like me, you can use this to try to teach yourself a little bit of some music theory. So, you know, check it out. Make sure if you guys like this content, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell, so every time we bring you guys a new video, you could be the first to find out. I appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. All right, guys and gals, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so every time a new video comes out, you can be the first to know. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next in the comments, and see you next time.
Sum, hit the key.